evening, everyone, and welcome to Boss versus Coach and a very happy and prosperous new year. I wish this year happens to be most successful and accomplishing year for all of you. Um, Happy New Year, Olivia. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Happy New Year to you. It's a
Thank
whole
you.
bright new 25 years. There seems something very auspicious about it being 2025. It's like a quarter of the century has passed.
Absolutely, and I think 2025 will happen to be more auspicious for both of us. So I have got a gift for you, Olivia. Would you like to see that?
I'd love a gift, you know that.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see that.
Beautiful! Look at that!
So here's the cover of our book. And to my viewers, so me and Olivia have attempted a book on Boss versus Coach. We were signed up by Outbridge for the same in October last year. The cover of the book has been launched today, and the book is expected to hit the markets in February, in early February. You can place your pre-orders on Outbridge website, and soon this book will be available on Amazon as well. So please, we seek your blessings, we seek your support on this journey, and Olivia, congratulations.
Well, congratulations to us both. It's exciting, and thank you to everyone who watches and engages with the topic, because actually it's about everyone, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's about a perfect start of the year for all, and I hope this year continues to be exciting for everyone. So let's move to the podcast of the day. So we are gonna talk about the crossroads of command and collaboration today, Olivia, and this is where we as leaders often found ourselves struck, and that's the intersection of command and collaboration, and to see what the teams expect out of us and how are we meeting those expectations. To me, the team expects a lot from their leaders. They expect trust and respect. They expect empowerment and not micromanagement. They expect clarity and not chaos, and they expect much, much more beyond this. To unveil this complexity of the crossroads between command and collaboration, we have with us a very special guest. So we have with us Ritu Mehta. Ritu is a certified coach with more than 7 years of experience in coaching. She has got 1,000+ hours of coaching done with various firms and individuals, and she has proven track record in coaching people around executive coaching, leadership coaching, personality development, public speaking, and much more. So let's welcome Ritu Mehta on the show, Olivia. And Ritu, welcome and Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Very happy new year to both of you, and much congratulations. I am so excited about your book launch, and I am pleased to be on the session where you are launching your book cover. So
Thank you,
I
Ritu.
will be rooting for you. I will be standing on the sidelines and cheering for you and placing in advance order. So great,
Beautiful.
great. I'm
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
excited to
Thank
be
you.
here.
So Ritu, before we go ahead, I request if you can just introduce and tell the viewers more about you, and because I have not done a great job, I know. So maybe you can just tell them what all you do, where all you can help them, and how are you bringing this concept of coaching to the life.
Sounds good. Let me do that. Thank you. So let me divide my work in two buckets. I own a recruiting firm where I help startups and middle-sized companies with their technology talent requirements. I am based in Bangalore, India, and I'm also a certified coach where I help leaders and individuals achieve their goals in their personal and work lives, whatever they are looking for. Mostly, I saw that I gained more experience and clientele who were struggling or who were aiming for more and more in their work life. But it's very difficult to disengage your personal life with your work life. I call it one whole life. We bring our whole selves and complete selves to our work. I cannot leave my personal thoughts at home and then walk into the office. It's very difficult to do. As much as we want to do, it's not really easy. So yeah, I help to improve their lives professionally and personally. So yes, recruiting and coaching, one gives me money and one gives me, I fulfill my passion.
That's great, Ritu, and welcome to the show once more. So, to start with, Ritu, we were talking about the crossroads of command and collaboration, and what the teams expect from the leaders. So, as I mentioned, the team expects a lot from the leaders, and the leaders are under pressure to deliver more because once you call yourself as a leader, then the expectations are manifold. And what do you think of it, and how can one manage to sail through this?
So on a 50,000 feet level, I mean, it's a very broad question, so I'll keep my answer also on the high level. I personally don't think that both leaders and the teams expect too much from each other. That's my thought process. We all are unique, bring our different perspectives on the table, and that's my view on the table. I think all of us, if we narrow it down to the basic human behaviors, we all want respect, connectivity, and then if we are talking in materialistic terms, yes, I want compensation and rewards and recognition also sometimes. But that's all there is. Maybe we have complicated it too much. And if I think from a leader's perspective, I am a leader myself, I'm a business owner, I have a team, I have clients. I'm also not expecting too much from my team. I'm not asking them to give their lives to me. All I'm asking is, 7-8 hours of sincere work, their authenticity, and their trust. That's all. So I'm very happy to dive into certain aspects that you think we can talk more about it. But on a higher level, I think it's in our hands how simple and how complicated we want to make this.
Okay. So Ritu, how can leaders balance the need for control while fostering collaborations in their team? What's your thought on that?
Yes, that's a great point. So what happens is that, a thought that, okay, I am the boss. So I need to control every aspect of my works, my deliverables, and my team, But this thought process was working many years back, or let's say a decade back. But in last few years, and let's say 1 decade, when the new ways of working and modern ways of working, and especially after COVID, you know how the whole world worked for 2 years remotely from their homes, from their natives, from their villages, from their small towns, right? And everything was happening, right? So now the control has an element of collaboration. If I want to call myself a modern day leader and I expect myself to control every aspect of my team, I will be digging my own grave in a way, because I will not be focusing on my work, on my deliverables. But all of my time and energy is going to micromanaging my team, My team is there to help me execute my goals and help me with their inputs in strategic. But at the end of the day, I am responsible for the business growth and the deliverables. So if I am micromanaging it, then who is doing my work? I don't have anybody to do my work, So it's leaders have to appreciate and accept the fact that if we bring in trust and collaboration, then I am helping myself rather than my team. And how my team is gaining, because my team is sensing my support in them. If in our weekly meetings we just say high level goals and then I go off to do my work, they go off to do their work, and we sync sometimes in a day, in a week, to see how are we doing. They are building trust, I am building trust.
Sure. Olivia, your thoughts on this?
Going to challenge it a little bit there, Ritu. So I think that there is a huge expectation of a leader in terms of vision, in terms of direction. And I've taught hundreds of senior leaders coaching skills, and a lot of them have said, oh, but if we're all just coaching and all nice, how does anyone know what to do? And I think that there is a balance. You can have a coaching mindset and skill set and still be the person who sits down and goes, okay, this is where I see us going. This is what I want. And it doesn't mean it has to be a closed loop. It might be that the team builds on that. But one of the things that I think has become really clear from COVID and the lockdowns that came from it, from people working almost entirely remotely, is that the young people aren't learning off the senior people. So, I think if you give someone a high level objective and you say, well, go off and do this, they might be making it up as they go along. They might just run away and Google it. It's like, so one of the things that's great about sitting next to somebody in an office is that you just can hear and learn from proximity. And I do feel a lot of people are throwing that away by saying, oh, well, working in the office is too much. So I think one of the things that the leader does is to offer direction, and the other one is to teach and support. And I think that they also can learn. So I don't think that they are the font of all knowledge, as you said, Ritu. I think it's important that we can all see that we can learn from each other. But, there is stuff that needs to be taught. It's not something that just wisdom that comes out of nowhere, technical skills or adhering to particular regulations. So I think that there's an interesting balance there of a leader learning when do I coach? When do I envision? When do I teach? And from whom am I learning? And I think that those are the whole balance of when do we find ourselves as a collaborator, as a leader. I never really like controlling leaders though.
Very true.
You're absolutely right. That comes when we are diving into the everyday schedule. How do we build a collaboration and a trust and a control environment? I embody what I expect from my team. That's how I would like to say. But again, that's on a very 50,000 feet level. And you're absolutely right. When we dive into the daily actions, daily deliverables, launches, product launches, and all that, and even in everyday life, we need to grow. But at the same time, my point I was trying to make is that I want to move away from the micromanaging and controlling and become that, because maybe in last 5-6 years, I have literally sleeping, eating, drinking, coaching. So that mindset has come so much in me that I want to bring in that mindset in leaders, that eventually we should be moving to that coaching style of leadership.
Nice. Thank you.
So that brings me to an exciting thought. Like, how do teams perceive this concept of command versus control versus collaboration, and what do they perceive in a leader? Because till now what we spoke is from the leader's perspective. If I talk about the team's expectation, how do they see this balance of control and collaboration, and what is their view or their expectations from the leader?
It's very difficult to generalize the answer to this question. I think what's important is that leader has to first identify that what kind of team do I have? Am I leading a entry level employees, or am I leading professionally experienced and people who already bring in a certain level of experience on the table? It all depends, Suppose there is a CEO, let's say, and there is already a line of vice president and directors reporting into a CEO. Then CEO doesn't have to go to the micromanager level, Now let's see that there is a small business, or there is a senior manager who is leading a team of analysts, right? The analysts who are fresh out of the college with, let's say, 1 to 3 years of experience. They would need a lot of hand holding and, like Olivia rightly mentioned, guidance also along with the instructions and directions. So it all depends on that what kind of teams do you have? What are your expectations from the team? And what kind of industry and work you are in, So if you have any other example, I would love to deep dive into, and then we can really find the balance and rhythm that we
Sure.
are all seeking.
Agree. So, Olivia, what do you feel is the role of emotional intelligence in all this? When we say control, we say collaboration, and there are expectations from the team to a leader, and equally, a leader also is has to expect things from the team in terms of support and how they want to manage that relationship. So, what do you feel is the role of emotional intelligence in all this?
Okay, interesting one. Didn't expect that direction, Maya. I would say it comes a bit to what Ritu was saying. What is the control about? So if it is someone with a very fixed mindset, they have their own way of doing things, everything's done their way, that will tend to be someone who's pretty brittle emotionally. They're more likely to have a tantrum when things don't go their way. So I'd say, that's one form of control. But again, it was interesting just touching on what if it is about being in a regulated industry? What if it is, a quality issue where actually control is important? I don't think that precludes strong emotional intelligence or a coaching style. I think it's about helping people to understand. I think it's about the communication and behavioural choices that you make. And to be able to make those choices, well, that requires an emotional intelligence and maturity. That means that you can step into a space of being, possibly quite directive for good reason, but doing so in a way that you bring people along and help them to understand the reason why something needs to be a certain way. So I think, I'm never going to say you don't want emotional intelligence. I think it's a very handy thing to have in your pocket.
Good thought.
Yep.
Ritu,
Yes.
your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, emotional intelligence in itself is a very vast topic. And I would say it doesn't matter what you are doing in life. If you are a leader, or you are a team member aspiring to be leader, or you have your own business, or you are just chilling in life. If you got to have an emotional intelligence, if you have an sane life. Of course, I didn't know about this concept 1.5 decades back. And since I have started practicing it, it has changed my life entirely. I am so much calmer with my kids. I hope they also agree to this fact. They are not going to challenge this, but I want to believe that I am a much better mom since I have started implementing the basic concepts of self-awareness, self-management, and first regulate my emotions and then show up. Now I'm showing up at work, at home, in community, it doesn't matter. And it becomes very important at work with my teams because relation is very delicate. At home, we still take our relationships granted, all said and done. But at work, I want to showcase that I'm in control of my emotions, because when I'm in control of my emotions, my team also get inspiration from me and stay calm when the crisis comes, or even in day-to-day work, right? We don't have to wait for crisis to show my emotional intelligence. I can show my emotional intelligence at everyday life also. So this is a very handy tool. Like Olivia said, I would love to have it in my pocket always.
Great. So just a thought on that. We discussed about how leaders can balance this command, control, and collaboration. How does leader expect to behave using their tool of emotional intelligence? But that one thing you feel the leaders often miss on, which brings more of control and less of collaborations and takes away the trust element from the team.
I think the first step, self-awareness. Not many people stop to think that what kind of leader do I want to be, because most of the times promotions are granted because somebody was good at their work. I might be a very good individual contributor, I might be very good at coding, and I might be not so great at understanding and inspiring people, you know. So I don't think people are made leaders and then they are not stopping to think that what am I doing. And this I'm telling you from experience, because this awareness has come to me in last 1.5 decades. But before that, even I was working and leading like a headless chicken, you know. So uh, yeah, that's my favorite expression. Because we just show up at work and we are shooting instructions, we are shooting emails. And now when I consciously thinking that how do I want to lead my life, how do I want to inspire my team, then I'm bringing that collaboration element. The first thing which comes to our human nature is control. I think it comes from our caveman days, because our DNA is still coming from there. At some level, we still bring our animal instincts on the surface, you know, in a hidden ways. And I want to control my tribe.
Agreed. Olivia, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, how boring. I agree. No, I don't bring something different. I think a lot of the issues for leaders around control will come because they feel that they personally are at risk if the answer isn't well received, or if the product isn't going to hit the market well, or if the project doesn't go exactly to plan. So they feel a very personal challenge to getting it done right. I had a fantastic lesson in this. 25 years ago. I'm too old. When I had a very clear picture of what I wanted a particular brochure to look like. I was working in marketing, and it was a really important document, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I talked to the designers and the copywriters and said what I wanted it to achieve, and bit my tongue and walked away. And of course, when they presented it, it was nothing like what was in my head. And my immediate reaction was a bit of anger, a bit of upset, a bit of irritation. But then when I looked at it, I realized what they had done was so much better than what I would have done. Probably because this is where they shine. This is their professional training, and they brought fresh ideas to it. And that was a real life experience for me of, sometimes your way isn't the best way. And that's kind of hard because, you said, you come up through the ranks because you're technically good, ideally technically excellent. You lead the way in what you do, and therefore you're given the next promotion and then the next one. It is kind of hard to give that up. It's part of who you are, who you turn up as, that you know what you can do. So ceding control and just saying, do you know what, you do your best job.
Absolutely.
It's a really hard thing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I think we have got a exciting discussion, and I think this should go on, but time is putting a constraint. So Ritu, very quickly, what is that one advice that you would like to give to aspiring leaders or those who are looking for a leadership role? Because as you mentioned in your previous statement, that leaders are often made by way of promotions and not because they deserve to be a leader. So what is that piece of advice you would like to give to all who are aspiring to be a leader so that they don't commit the same mistake?
I want to say two things. The one thing is that let everybody come at work with the belief that inherently everybody is honest and integral, and everybody wants to do good work. Nobody wakes up and thinks, oh, I'm going to make life hell for my boss today, or I'm going to torture my employees. Nobody does that, So if we start with that foundation, now I agree that this is a very generic and very big statement, but let's start from there and then deep dive into our daily actions. Now, what is our daily action? If I am a manager or senior manager, director, eyeing for the next level promotion, from today onwards, I'll start behaving and working as the role that I'm aspiring to be. This was the advice given by my mentor 15, 16, 17 years back, when when he was mentoring me for a promotion. And he told me that from today, you start thinking that you have already achieved this promotion, and you start behaving, walking in the room, focusing on your deliverables, interacting with the senior leadership team in a way that you have already gained this role. So when you will be appearing for interviews, they will be thinking, she's already there. Yeah, So I have given you one generic big statement, and I have given you one tactical step that we can do. Live the life right now, what you want to live.
Very true and very insightful. Olivia, your take on this?
No, I agree again. And I think one of the things that we can do is learn by watching others. So if there's a leader that you admire, and Ritu talked earlier about that role modelling part of being a leader, but when you see someone, you think, I really like the way that they behave or the way that they deal with people, steal from them. Take that behaviour and make it your own.
Yeah.
All the things that really work for you, turn it into who you want to be. And as Ritu said, walk that walk. As soon as you realise that you can be different and you would like to be, experiment with that. See how it fits.
I love it.
True. Yeah, I do. And thank you very much, Ritu, and thank you, Olivia, for such an insightful discussions. I am sure by now many of the viewers who will see this video will get the right insight on how they can balance this command and control versus collaboration part. And leaders don't need to enforce control. They need to build trust and let the teams shine on their own. And that's where the art of leadership comes. And for that, again, as I said in the beginning, you also need to build a mindset shift. Start behaving like a leader and a coach, and stop behaving like a boss, and then the magic can unfold. So on that note, I wish all the best to all of our viewers, and thank you, Ritu, for making time for this show. We look forward to have more of you in future as well. And once again, a happy new year and good night.
Thanks, Ritu.
Thank you so much. Good luck with your book.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ritu. Stay in touch. Thanks. Bye. Thank you.